welcome back to the All Out Motorsports YouTube channel. I'm your host, Alex Bowman, and today we are racing at Cincy Speedway once again. Let's get started. So right off from the beginning, I want to let you guys know that I have a big announcement that's going to affect the rest of the season, but I'm going to pull a classic YouTuber move and make you wait to the end of the video to figure out what that is. Make you guys stick around and watch the whole video. Or, well, I mean, I guess you could probably just skip to the last few minutes of the video, but, like, don't do that. Just watch it all the way through, and then, you know, help get the views up and everything, help the algorithm, yeah, you know. But anyways, it has to do with plans for the rest of the season, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Moving on to today, I have a little bit of a confession to make. It's actually Monday, and I forgot to, well, didn't really forget, just didn't have time at the track to do any filming. So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna pretend like it's race day and give you my rundown and reaction as things would be, as if I was doing it live, but it's actually a few days later. Sorry, things just got really busy and stuff at the track, and didn't get a chance to film. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. It was a great day down there at Cincy Speedway, and started off pretty overcast, but super dry, super slick. It was awesome. You guys are really gonna love this video. Alright, so just finished off with practice, and I gotta say, it went really well for the most part. I decided not to put any prep on my tires, just, you know, it's just practice. I don't really feel like beating on my tires on practice. So I just went out there with no prep on the tires, and things went really well. For the medium kart, I was pretty much just as fast as people, well, okay, maybe a tenth off of people that had prepped, but prep's worth a whole lot more than just a tenth. So I'm super excited about that. That kart is amazing right now. But then with Nike for heavy, it was doing this thing where, like, as soon as I turned to the left a little bit, it would just immediately, like, transfer all the weight to the right rear and try to snap around really quick. So to slow that down, we are going to add some camber in, I think, the right front. I don't know. We're gonna make a camber change on one of the front wheels to help slow that down a little bit and see how it does. But adding some prep in, making that change, hopefully it ends up nice and perfect. I am going to be starting second for both heat races, which exciting that I'm at the front because with medium there's 11 karts, so I really want to be towards the front. But not so great that I'm going to be on the outside for both of them. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully I can get down to the inside real quick without falling back a bunch and get a good finish out of it. So let's go get ready for some heat racing. No, we're good.
That was some good racing there, boy.
Woo! Oh, how about that driving?
That was good.
Good job.
Real good driving.
Hey.
Woo! How about that heat race? Man, that was awesome. The kart was just absolutely amazing. Like, oh my gosh, it was on rails. That was so much fun to race with. Yeah, honestly, I couldn't have asked for anything better. Dropped back to fourth, as you saw, but then, was able to quickly cross the 22 back over and get by and back to third. Ran down the leaders and got them past both all at once. I was a little worried when I got inside Eddie through 3 and 4, and he was able to hold that he was going to get a run down the front straightaway and clear me back. But I was able to stay there, and it all worked out fantastic. As we were taking the white flag even. But one thing that was crazy is the leader, when I was in third, before I made the pass on both of them, going into one, his right rear actually popped off the rim. So I'll throw that in here really quick and you can see it. But yeah, that's crazy. It just completely popped off the rim. Eddie said he could smell it overheating as he was going, and even smoking a little bit. So not really sure what happened there with him, but I am pretty impressed that he was able to make it through the corner with any speed without the right rear on the rim. So we're gonna go ahead and regroup and head on out for the heavy heat. back to where we were last time. I was hoping I didn't lose any weight.
That's why you don't give up a spot. You were thinking about it.
I was.
I saw you look behind you to see who was there and how far it was.
Just like that, 2 heat races, 2 heat race wins. So, with that race, obviously you saw, fell back to 5th. The snap oversteer was a little bit better. It was still there a little bit. By the end of the race, it was pretty much gone. So I think the air pressure in the right rear just needed to come up a little bit to keep it from rolling over so hard onto the right rear. But it was pretty great. And then, as you saw, when we came off the track, Buddy ended up being, I think it was 3 pounds light. So, unfortunately, those 3 pounds matter, and rules are rules. So he ended up getting disqualified, and I got the win. So, worked out for me. I'm really glad that I didn't give up 2nd place. If you saw when I was taking the white flag, I kind of like sat up in my seat and turned around to see where 3rd place was, to see if I could give that back to get an inside starting spot. As my mom pointed out, really good thing I didn't do that, because then I'd be starting 2nd instead of getting the win. So for the features, for Aries with medium, I'm going to leave everything exactly how it was. I'm going to watch the track to figure out what to do with my tire prep, but setup wise, everything is good. And then for Nike with heavy, I'm probably going to start off the right rear air pressure a little bit higher so that it doesn't have to work up to that level. It should just start where it's at and be good. But we'll go ahead and make those changes and get out there for the features. race was crazy. The 22 jumped the start twice, so luckily they called it back and made us restart both times. I did finally learn, though, when the outside person jumps, just not to go. A lot of times my instinct is they jump, then I just hit the gas to try to keep up with them. I realize this time around, though, if I just don't go, it makes it super obvious that they jumped and doesn't really give the officials any choice but to call it back. So I did that. As you saw, there were tons of cautions, tons of craziness. I had to survive a lot of restarts. One thing you don't really see in the video is that every single restart, Eddie was right on my rear bumper, and every time down into 1 and 2 was just pushing me through the corner, which no hard feelings or anything. That's exactly what he should have been doing, but it made me have to be perfect. And then by the end of the race, I was able to, we were able to get some laps under a belt, and I was able to build a gap and show that I really was faster. But that was crazy, very stressful. Almost had to deal with some lap traffic, which is an interesting dynamic because I was just out there focused on like driving it on the absolute edge, making fastest lap times, and all of a sudden I realized how quick I was catching the lap cars and had to like pause and slow down my thinking, and like I like literally took a deep breath, like, okay, now I gotta pay attention to them, and had to slow everything down a little bit. But then the caution came out and I didn't have to worry about it at all. Super happy though, that kart is still on rails. I don't know what we figured out with it or what we're hitting on with it, but it is, it's fantastic right now. I'm so happy with where that kart's at. But we're gonna go ahead and regroup and get ready for the heavy feature and see if we can take home another win. Let's go do it. that one didn't go quite as well as the other ones. Really, there's not much I could have done though. There's only 5 or 6 drivers in that class, but like 5 of us are so fast. Like between me, Eddie, Brandon, Joe, and Buddy, we're like probably the 5 best racers down there. And you put us all in a class together, it's hard to really do anything with us. There's a spot in the middle of 4, so probably about the 2/3 mark of 3 and 4, where dirt is kind of coming out on the track, and it's super slick. I'm sure you saw us all slipping through there in the video, but I've seen a little bit in the medium video as well. It's super difficult to get through there, and on the start, or on the first lap, first or second lap, whatever it was, slipped up through there. Buddy was able to get by me, and then next time around, he spun himself out there, and I had no choice but to jerk it way up the track and go around him, and I did like went off the track and everything, but I still consider that a pretty awesome save. That was crazy. I thought I was going way off somewhere, and I was able to bring it back through the grass and get back on the track. But then at that point, like I said, we're all so good. There's only so much you can do at that point. Also, Nike just doesn't have the speed that Aries has right now. Aries is absolutely killing it. It's so lights out fast. And Nike's just not quite there. To be fair, I've had Aries for, I think this is the 3rd season with him. This is my 1st season with Nike, so I'm still trying to get it all figured out and everything. This feels like something's a little off in the front end that's slowing me down. Probably next week we are going to take Nike up to Josh's house and get it scaled, really go over it, and figure out if there's anything going on in the front end, because it doesn't feel right. It feels really twitchy down the straightaways and everything, and then it gets over on the right rear way too fast. So I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with it. But it's getting better. We're finding little things here and there. Just gotta like find that one last big thing to get us there. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for today. Big announcement time. We are going back racing at Lawrenceburg Motorcycle Speedway. I am so happy. Now that we have Cincy Speedway, like, they're both kind of my home track, but I consider Lawrenceburg really my home track because that's where I've done 99% of my racing. I love racing there. It's so much fun, and it is going to be coming back on an every week basis. So every week I'm going to be racing there now, except for like there's like a few here and there that we have off weekends. But for the most part, I'm going to be racing every weekend now instead of like once a month. So it's going to be a lot more stressful with getting everything turned around and cleaned for the carts and everything each week. But I'm super excited for that. There's even some weekends, I think it's 2 weeks from now, where we're going to have, I think it's like the 14th, 15th of August, something like that. It'll be Lawrenceburg on Saturday and then Cincy Speedway on Sunday. So that's going to be a ton of fun, and I'm so excited. You guys are going to get a lot more racing content, which I'm sure you guys are happy about because these videos do a lot better than the other ones. But anyways, remember to like and subscribe, make some comments down below, and as always, pecker up, hammer down.